And we're back with another video. And this one is about the Champions League that is going on at the current stages, that is the semi-final stages. And the first team that has made the final of the Champions League is Manchester City. And they knocked out PSG, who were the last year's finalists of the tournament. And they did so in style after beating them yet again. But this time it was 2-0 rather than a 2-1 win. And they won 4-1 on aggregate. PSG had some big names among their ranks, but unfortunately they could not just show up. And Kylian Mbappe was on the bench for the second leg, and he could not get onto the pitch. That was Pochettino's decision. He was maybe not fit enough, and that is why he could not make it to the into the game. And big up to Ryan, Melina, Charlie, Talk Manu, and who else is there? Okay, that's about it. So I was talking about the game, that is the City versus PSG game, which ended in a 2-0 win for Manchester City. A few quick key talking points, and before I get other people in, and the thing that I want to talk about is one thing quickly. I think it was the Phil Foden show today. I am happy that Pep Guardiola made a smart move, dropping Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus to the bench. My those two players are like the players that are just there riding the bus to the mall, or riding the bus to the, you can say, to the park. Those guys are not actually Manchester City level. And if Manchester City wants to grow and progress and be regular Champions League finalists and potential winners, then they need to get in replacements for these two players at least. And the other thing that I want to talk about is the move to play Zinchenko against an attacking side like PSG. Ideally, everyone would have been thinking before the first leg started that Cancelo would be the first choice left back. But at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola made a very smart move. Zinchenko, who's not as good as Cancelo going up front and attacking, but way better than him defensively, was the first choice for both the legs. And though he almost lost his cool today, but Fernandinho, my man of the match today, my man of the match second contender, apart from Phil Foden, is Fernandinho. And he played like a real star, and he played like a great leader. And I think it is this department, and obviously attack wise, Fernandinho and the other one, as I said, Phil Foden. These two guys were the main difference. But the one guy who will get credit today will be Mahrez for the goals. But we need to remember one more thing, the key factor, that is without Phil Foden's playing, without Phil Foden's creation, I don't think those goals would have been that simple for Mahrez. So Phil Foden and Fernandinho are two of my man of the match contenders. I think Ruben Dias, as you mentioned, Charlie mentions Ruben Dias, and but the thing is, I think Fernandinho was more evident in breaking the play in midfield. He did not a lot of times let PSG and the likes of Neymar go forward at all. He broke their attacks and it converted back into counter attacks. So I think I will give my man of the match today. It's a tough one. I think it will be between Fernandinho and it's tough. Phil Foden. I will probably give it to Fernandinho for two reasons. I get it. Phil Foden's contribution was amazing. He should have probably had a goal as well. Again, as I said, one thing is Fernandinho was there always in the middle, and he was one of the guys who was blocking the likes of Neymar, who were their main playmakers. That was one thing. The other thing is, when you want to set a counter attack in motion, you need to win the ball early, and that was what Fernandinho was doing in this game. I think he had 3 to 4 very good interceptions, which resulted in counter attacks, and that is one of the reasons why I feel that Fernandinho is my man of the match today. I am not discarding or disregarding Phil Foden's contribution in the game. He is, I think, next in line to Fernandinho, and Fernandinho won, Phil Foden 2. So it is like 8.5 versus 9. It's not a big difference. Ruben Dias will probably be an 8. If these guys are 8.5 and these are 9, then Ruben Dias will be an 8. So it's very close. All three of them were top performers today. I was so happy before the first leg that Raheem Sterling was not in the starting lineup, because I feel that he is there at City based on what he has done in the last 2 to 3 seasons. He should have been dropped from the squad, from the playing 11 a few games before he was actually. And fortunately, there is no other team that is like fighting or challenging really for the title. Otherwise, if Pep wasted a few more game weeks to get in Phil Foden ahead of Sterling and drop in Gabriel Jesus, play with the false nine and all those things, get in Ferran Torres and all these guys, they could have made the title more competitive than what it is right now. It is one-sided because Pep made this very good change that he decided to drop Sterling from the main squad and bring in Phil Foden. He did it at a perfect time, and that was the best decision I think he made. Other two great decisions with respect to the overall season is signing Ruben Dias. That is a world-class decision. I think he's very good as a defender. If I have to compare someone at Arsenal that reminds me of Ruben Dias, it has to be Pablo Mari. But Pablo Mari needs to do a bit more because Ruben Dias is playing the big games. Pablo Mari needs to. He's not playing in the Champions League. He's playing in the Europa League, and he's playing in the Premier League right now to an extent. So I think, but if I think in that mold, if Arsenal has any player, it has to be Pablo Mari. But he's not a leader like Ruben Dias is. Ruben Dias has those leadership qualities that Pablo Mari doesn't have, but he's very similar to Ruben Dias in some ways. And as I said, one was dropping Sterling for getting in Foden. Second was Ruben Dias signing, and the third one I feel that with regards to this is with regards to Pep's rotation is the utilization of Kevin De Bruyne and the utilization of his midfielders or the injury-prone players. If you saw today as well, as soon as Pep saw that it was 2-0 and they got a red card, PSG got a red card, it was almost time for Kevin De Bruyne to be taken off. That was very smart, knowing that this player of mine is injury-prone and this player could actually get injured, or he wouldn't get sent off probably, but he could get injured. And that is when Pep immediately decided to make that change. And once the tie was done, he just went for the change, and that was something good to see. Now, I know there are some of you in the chat who want to come on, including Ryan and maybe even Charlie. So I've sent the link out and we can have a discussion and we can discuss about it. I am till then looking at Twitter. I had shared the video already. And if anyone else joins in the chat, at least we can have a more give and take. That is one of the reasons I go on for some time and then involve people. So big up to you guys. And so as I was saying, that it was a game dominated by Manchester City. There were no two ways about it. There is no unpopular opinion there. It was just how it is. It was a game that was City's game to lose and it was a tie that was City's tie to lose because of the fact that they were PSG did not look the same without Mbappe, and there were some issues that they were having. Neymar wasn't able to play. Icardi was just not looking like PSG level. So I have Ryan with me here, and he's on. And how are you, Ryan?
I'm good, Nitish. How are you?
I'm good. And what did you make of that game?
It was quite good, to be honest. I didn't watch it though. I can assume what can happen though, because I know how these teams will play. Like Guardiola, we know him as the tiki-taka man, and Pochettino, we know him as the man who never wins trophies.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're both really good teams. I can assume that both of the goals from Mahrez were pretty decent as well. The reason I would have stuck the game on if I had BT, but like I said in another video, I do not have BT. So yeah.
Hold on, your elder brother is here as well. Charlie is here as well, and he must be happy because Manchester City have won and they have made it to their first Champions League final.
Oh, don't believe it. It's not sunk in properly yet, to be honest with you. It will have done by the morning, I reckon.
I think, and Talk Manu is here as well. It's a whole party fest going on here.
Evening, Nitish. How are you, my friend?
Good evening. I was just sharing the video around on Twitter. WhatsApp is again gone messed up. But I think it was a good evening for Manchester City and no messes up there.
Yeah.
And Charlie, who was your man of the match?
I said it in the chat. I think it was Ruben Dias. I think it was world class. Again.
Okay. Yeah, he was good. That is what I said. It was like an 8.5 and 9 between Foden and Fernandinho, and an 8 maybe for Ruben Dias for me. So it was that close. Talk Manu, Ryan didn't see the game. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, did you?
So who was your man of the match?
I think I agree with you in terms of Foden and Fernandinho. I mean, it's neck and neck between them two. They were absolutely immense. Foden is a special player, man. Very, very, very special player. And do you know what? I said it during the stream. If Gareth Southgate does not now build the England squad around him, he's doing himself a big disservice. Really, really is.
Yeah, I think the player has already proven that I can play at the top level. I don't need any more time. Pep Guardiola believes in me, so who is Gareth Southgate not to believe in him? That would be funny that Pep Guardiola believes in a player and drops Raheem Sterling for him, who is a regular England international. But if Gareth Southgate can't do the same and continues with Raheem Sterling, I remember that Titanic song playing in the background when Raheem Sterling hit that ball over the crossbar.
Yeah,
That could have
I was
seen you
watching
guys.
that. I was watching that live. They were like, "Oh, he's missed it, Raheem Sterling," and he was like, he looked so like, "Oh, I missed that."
But we were just having that conversation, me and Charlie, about is Sterling's is he got a future at the club? You know, he seems to be a bit of a weak link at the moment. You know, and I don't know. And I asked Charlie if he could possibly, if Pep could turn him into a striker, but we've come to the conclusion he's too weak for that.
No, the problem is the guy can run with the ball, but his finishing is the problem. And if he becomes a striker, then he'll become Timo Werner 2.0. So I don't think there is a point there. But Adam was there. Adam was there in the backstage. He just dropped out. I was just about to add Adam, and he dropped out. I don't know. Maybe he'll be back. So Brownie, if you can hear me, just come back. I'll add you on quickly. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So the main thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and since Charlie is a Man City fan, are you happy that Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling are dropped from the squad? Let's start with Charlie.
Yeah, I can. De Bruyne in the false nine's been working recently, so I understand why Jesus has been dropped and Foden's just been world class last couple of weeks.
Yeah, bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, and you're not too sad about Sterling being dropped?
No, not really, if it improves the team.
Okay, and Ryan, if I know you didn't see the game, but have you seen Phil Foden play in general? And what do you think about him?
Yeah, I think he's a really good young player. I remember watching England versus Iceland, and Phil Foden scored quite a good goal, actually. And I've watched Foden a lot of times, and he's been really good. He's really impressing me. So, yeah, I've got to say he's one for the future. And you could get some big money for him one day.
I don't think they'll be selling him anytime soon. He's a Man City fan, as it is. And you guys are the Phil Fodens and the Sakas of the YouTube world, both of you, because you are the the upcoming stars here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't make sense of a decision if Gareth Southgate doesn't know how to get him into the team, because I just heard that every team will have 26 players now instead of 23. So if Gareth Southgate still can't find a place for the likes of Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, then I think this could be his last tournament. He won't make it to the World Cup, I get the feeling.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Just adding Adam as well, I can see him. Yes. Adam, did you see the game?
Only the highlights, I'll be honest with you. Only the highlights. It was the oil club derby today, and I knew one of them would slip up, but
yeah.
Too many puns. Even I made a joke about it. I mean, I have that troll page where I put a pun that the players must be complaining about too much oil in their food. But
anyway, thanks for the invite, Natesh. I do apologize. I'm gonna have to. I won't be able to stay long because my battery on my phone after my last live stream basically took all my batteries. But it's a pleasure to be on the stream with everybody here. Charlie, Talk MU. and Ryan, the Cardiff City fan,
Yeah.
my fellow Cardiff City fan. So and
Yeah.
of course, yourself.
It's okay, Adam. You can leave whenever the battery dies, because there is a maximum limit of just one Cardiff City fan per stream, and there are 2 right now. But anyways, jokes apart, again coming back to talk Man U, do you think that Man City now has enough within their squad to win the Champions League final, and who do you see as their main competitors? That is Real Madrid or Chelsea. Who do you think will go through? You must have discussed this a lot, but still, let's go on back to it.
Yeah, I was talking about with this Charlie later on, and for me, I just think Pep's got far too much in his locker, far too much on the bench. I can't see anybody beating them, to be honest with you. And you can go back to the Chelsea game in the FA Cup, but City had half a team out. Tuchel is new there. He's not got as much in the locker in terms of what Pep's got with knowing the squad, being able to change it up enough to get a result in a Champions League final for me. So, and I do believe that Real Madrid are going to beat Chelsea anyway tomorrow. So that's what I see. That's how I see it.
Okay, so according to you, Real Madrid is taking Chelsea out. And Charlie, as a City fan, I'll ask you something different. Out of Real Madrid and Chelsea, whom do you want to face in the final? Whom do you feel that you can hammer in the final?
Chelsea.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they do an FA Cup again. Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
My grandfather, he was born in Fulham and he supported Chelsea. So if Chelsea go for the final, I'll be supporting Chelsea. So yeah, I'm quarter English.
I was just nicely telling Charlie that don't be surprised if replay of the FA Cup fixture happens. I think it was the semi-final where Chelsea knocked Man City out.
Yeah.
So Tuchel has a trick or two up his bag as well. Adam, who do you think will go through tomorrow? I know you are in Spain, so Real Madrid all the way for you. Is it, or Chelsea?
Yeah. We got Jurgen got few players returning for one reason or another tomorrow. I'm with Talk Man U, to be honest. I think I can see him turning Chelsea over tomorrow. Final. I'm hoping Real Madrid will do it, but going on last year's game between the both teams, Man City got through that tie, but it's a one-off. I don't know. Real Madrid, Man City final. I wonder which one UEFA at this moment in time would like to win that one.
There, coming back to that, there was a very funny thing that was going around. People were saying Real Madrid deserved to lose against Chelsea. I don't know if it was a Chelsea fan or someone else, because of Perez. They were hating on Real Madrid players who are going to play tomorrow because of what Perez did or decided to do. So, which made absolutely no sense to me.
So they turned an absolute blind eye that their club was also willing to go on Super League because of their hatred for play. Listen, Real Madrid fans, many of the members, because it's a different structure of you regarding Real Madrid, but many of the members, they also hate Florentino Perez. He's banned a lot of the Outer Sur, which is the main footballing main supporters group. Banned them from the Bernabeu. I am saying for the last 5 years, outside gate 13, they will all that of the band group will be there chanting as the games are going on, right? Not many people know that. He's trying to change Real Madrid right from basically to be a commercial powerhouse, in which he has done that to his kind of credibility. But there's also been the detriment of that is that he's been pushing the working class Real Madrid fans out of the stadium for tourist fans. So
just 1 second, Adam. We have a full house here. Relentless is here. Bhargav is here.
Right,
now, if anyone else wants to come in, someone has to drop
I know,
out.
but you know what I don't. You know what I don't like. I don't like, with the greatest respect to everybody. I don't like the fact that only me and Natasha have shown our faces.
That's okay.
I voted to social media. We all
right, give me like 5.
Media.
That's all right,
yeah.
Adam. That's all right. Charlie can't show his. Sorry, Ryan can't show his face because he and we both would end up in trouble. But
okay.
I think the others, I don't push them for. I don't do it sometimes
No,
myself.
I know, but
I'll show my face on my I'll show my face on my YouTube channel, bro, on my Instagram.
No
So
worries.
right.
So
I'm
so
usual.
let's
So
not get into
anyway, going back to my point,
Yeah, go ahead.
Tesh, is that the bottom line. Don't get me wrong, Florentino Perez is really hated between Real Madrid fans, right? He was meant to have a presidential election in November of this year. As the campaign was starting, and the rumours and the polls are saying that he was going to lose that election, lo and behold, his campaign goes back to a change he made of the election kind of ruling back in 2012, which then disqualified every single candidate who was going to be up against him in November. So he was officially the next president now until 2025. That is not democratic. That is basically, a third world nation bringing in a dictator because no one else would run against him. That's how this kind of voting system is at Real Madrid. The guy is a dictator, not like with the working class Real Madrid fans. Many of these things, anti-Perez kind of issues, which Spanish people have with him, many people outside Spain don't know about this. Right? And for that Chelsea fan you mentioned, for that Chelsea fan to say, oh, he doesn't like Real. Well, how about, football fans as a whole, they all, at this moment in time, they all want football to be represented for the whole of society, from the big wigs to the small people who can't afford to put £2 together to get a cheap ticket in a non-league game. Right?
I heard today.
Go on, sorry.
I heard today that Chelsea decided that they will be getting some of their board or some of the fans on their to give them power and have them as part of the board. I read something about this that was being circulated. So if that happens,
Chelsea don't own the Stamford Bridge. You see.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know that, but they do not own. Chelsea cannot sell Stamford Bridge. Stamford Bridge is owned by supporters.
Yeah, supporters club of Chelsea.
Yeah, that's what Ken Bates done before he sold to Abramovich. The only good thing Ken Bates done. But so they can't sell Stamford Bridge. Whether or not that move is to ensure that you come on a board on condition that in the future, you allow us to bloody move elsewhere from Stamford Bridge, could be a different kettle of fish. There could be more to it than just allowing a fan on
that could be a smart call. So you are saying Real Madrid to go through or Chelsea before I go to Relentless?
Oh, Real Madrid, I think, yeah.
Real Madrid. Okay. Relentless, who do you think will join Man City tomorrow? And I'll go talk to you about the game. But before that, who do you think will be joining Man City tomorrow?
I'm hoping it's Real Madrid, bro. I'm really hoping it's Real Madrid. Yeah, you guys can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's Real Madrid, man. Because for me, I think if we get to if Real Madrid get to the final, I feel like we can win it. Because I look at someone like Zidane, yeah. Even though our squad is a bit weird because we have a old players. But listen, I said Modric and Luka. Sorry, not Modric and Luka. Jesus Christ, Modric and Cruz. They can play into their 40 just because the way they play. They're really talented footballers. For me, I think maybe in the first game we did get a bit overran, but I think we will kind of come back and I think we will make some tactical tweaks. Zidane is very, very experienced in this sort of stages. Even though he had Ronaldo, he can still do it. He's still capable of doing it. He knows how to manage egos. He's proved this. So for me, I can't really call it because I look at Tuchel and Tuchel's just doing a mad thing with Chelsea. But I can't lie. But for me, if we win this, we have to keep a clean sheet. It's very important. We have to keep a clean sheet because even if we get one goal, the way Chelsea defend, it's not even like they have brilliant defenders. But what they do is they defend as a team. And like this is, I've never really seen this before. Like the way they defend, the system they have in place is like they press midfield press. Everybody's pressing, so they're working hard as a team. Like I haven't seen that for a while from like a lot of teams. Like obviously City do the same thing, but it's like the way they defend. It's like everything is perfect, cohesion's perfect, and these aren't even his players. So for me, I'm looking at this game. I'm like, yes, Tuchel is a very good up and coming manager. He's got this team rocking. But then I also look at Zidane and say, you know what? This guy has a lot of experience. Like I always call him on my channel, I say he's a Champions League merchant. This guy knows what he's doing in the Champions League. Like he was a brilliant player and he's a brilliant coach. For me, the experience of the Real Madrid team, I'm really hoping they come through. So for me, I'm gonna be hopeful, even though the past couple of days I've been a bit negative. For me, I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm gonna go with a 1-0 win. Benzema to score 1-0.
I just want to understand one thing. I'm just saying this in general. A lot of people said the Europa League is Unai Emery's tournament. He can win it. He's won it 3 times already consecutively, and he is an expert in that. Why don't I'm just saying, not just Real Madrid, but all football fans have the confidence that Zidane can do it? Is it too much of a Ronaldo factor? Is it something else? I don't know. He has won it thrice consecutively as well. But no one says that the Champions League is like a Zidane trophy. He can win it at any point of time.
Because Zidane inherited, okay, they didn't done the previous season, but they were European champ. He inherited Ancelotti's Galacticos, who had the best part of 8 years ahead of him, to go. So he was the assistant manager. So he did have a good idea about the players and staff beforehand, and it was a very simple kind of replacement,
And
which I mean was down to the players more. But
yeah.
But what he inherited a great what was at that time youngish celebrity squad, and I don't think Zidane could go into a Man United right now and make them as European champions. I don't think he could do it.
No, of course not. Of course he can do it, because Man United, they're not completely there yet. What I'm trying to say is that he came in. It's kind of like Arsene Wenger. When Arsene Wenger came in at Arsenal, he had probably the best back five, one of the best back fives in football history. You know what I mean? What he did, he added his own twist to it, and you can look at that's exactly what Zidane did. He came in, added his own little twist to it. Zidane, he's a very flexible manager. He's kind of like Carlo Ancelotti. He can play defensive. He can play attacking football. He can park the bus if you want him to. He's one of those kind of managers. He's kind of like Sir Alex Ferguson as well. He used to go defensive. When he was under pressure, he go defensive. Can
you name me not Vinicius, because he was signed as a teenager. A teenager a few years ago. But can you name me a player who Zidane have signed? And has done well at Real Madrid.
You want me to name what?
He's asking you for a player who Zidane
has signed. Forget about Vinicius, because you signed at schoolboy level. Name me a player Zidane has signed who has actually gone on and done well at Real Madrid. There's not one.
Yeah, but look what I get what you're trying to say. Yes, he hasn't inherited a great squad like Marcelo, but still, you have to understand, those are egos. He has to manage those egos. Marcelo is one of the best left backs we've ever seen. You can't just go into the team and say, you know what, Ronaldo, I'm gonna have you play like this. Benzema, I'm gonna have you play like this. Listen, what he's done to Benzema.
You play to a team's strength, but I'm just asking.
What about Mendy? What about Mendy, Valverde, and
No, I'm gonna get to them. What I'm trying to say,
and Casemiro.
I get what he's trying to say, that he had a lot of experienced players. Basically, came in. All he had to really do was just get the team together, and then boom.
Can we count? Can we count?
Casemiro was Ancelotti signing.
No, I get it, but he had just, I think, started at that point of time. Carvajal and Casemiro, I think, can be counted as two players.
Carvajal came into his prime. He came into his prime.
What happened? I think Relentless dropped out for some reason. So, anyways,
Sorry, is that what Bargav was? Bargav just talking then? Sorry, man. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
no,
What
I guess with Zidane, it's the thing about Zidane for me is, I guess like Ronaldo's always come out and said like Zidane managed him really well. Like beforehand, he used to play every game, but then overall, he did talk to him like an actual superstar of the game. So that was one of his influences, I think. With Zidane, it's like a mixed bag, I guess, because
the main problem is I think he built his whole team around Ronaldo, and that is why no one thinks now that he can win it again. I think that is one of the reasons.
I just think he was in a right place at the right time, if I'm honest with you, because he was number 2 for Ancelotti, and we all know you are right, Bargav. You know over years the egos on the players must it must be massive. You must feel absolutely great going out on the Bernabeu every single week and having so many fans worldwide praising your backside. Don't get me wrong, but so it would be easier for the players to say, okay, we'll have Zidane with number 2 coming in, because they would know, okay, if we have another manager from outside coming in, he may want to make changes. I may well be out there. That's basically,
Yeah, but that was also the era though when Neymar, Suarez, and Messi were tearing apart the Champions League. It was like a back and forth between both of them. I mean, and Atletico was also emerging, so it's a really difficult one because with Zidane, you're right, he did get all that. He had so much talent in their primes.
You think of it.
Hold on one second.
You're playing finger players, but
I was just gonna announce Relentless face reveal, but he switched off the camera at the last minute on the channel. But one thing, let me just go ahead. Sorry, Relentless.
Yeah, my bad. My dog's acting up.
No worries. I just want to get Ryan back into it. Ryan, do you think Real Madrid will win, or will it be Chelsea? According to you, you're supporting Chelsea.
I hope Chelsea win.
Sure, Adam.
But
okay.
But Real Madrid are a good side. They've got loads of great players like Benzema, and so on, like Casemiro, and the list keeps going of good players. But the thing I'm wondering is how can a 35 is Ramos back? Like
no, Ramos isn't back. Ramos isn't back.
Varane is the one that's out.
They've got a bit of an old defense, so I'm just wondering if Pulisic, if he can run at him with pace, and he just tears them apart, will Chelsea win with the pace of Pulisic? Now that's what I'm wondering, because he is very fast. I'm hoping Chelsea can win, but you can't predict it, to be honest. But I'm gonna say,
go ahead. Go ahead.
What I want to happen is maybe a 2-1 to Chelsea. But what I think will happen, maybe the draw and Chelsea win on penalties.
Okay, so you are on Chelsea.
Yeah,
I said it myself. I said it myself on Steven's channel. 1-1 draw and penalties, and Chelsea go through, and Chelsea win UCL anyways. But Relentless, you were saying that Sergio Ramos is fit. Is he ready to play?
I think he is fit. I think the only defender that's out is Ramos.
It's Varane.
I mean, not Ramos. Varane. Because I think he has like some muscle injury, some
COVID. I think he has COVID, Varane, doesn't he?
No, Ramos is back tomorrow.
He had COVID, but I think now he has a muscle injury. So yeah.
No, Ramos is back tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I want to ask. Sorry, go ahead, Rand. Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm wondering if a 35-year-old Ramos could keep up with Pulisic or something like that. Like I know he's not a right back. He can play right back though, Ramos. But will he have enough pace to get back at the last second?
To be honest, regarding
I don't think he'll play right back.
Actually, right, Rennie. But regarding him, it's more of his organisation work rather than his pace and everything, because he relies on his central defensive partner to do all the pacey work, whereas he does the organisation work. And obviously, he's so good in the air and all that. But as far as I'm aware, he is back. One of the Real Madrid players is I've got an extended COVID kind of period, so he won't. I don't know, is it Valverde or Varane? One of them have got it. Benzema, he has just turned over a new leaf at the moment, and
he was always good.
Fun. It'll be interesting how Real Madrid set up, but I think it can beat Chelsea tomorrow.
I think Benzema is one of the players who has benefited the most from Ronaldo's departure. But yeah, Bhargav wanted to say something. Go ahead, Bhargav.
Sorry, don't rule out like Hazard returning and giving a guest lecture tomorrow.
No.
I've been saying that all week because I guess like there are reports that he is highly motivated by the Spanish press. I mean, I don't know the quality of those reports, but I mean it's the perfect.
Hey, nothing wrong with Spanish press, my friend.
What's Hazard highly motivated to run off and get a big belly burger?
In fairness, if he does show up tomorrow, it makes up like pretty much for.
Hey, listen, if he shows up tomorrow against Chelsea, I swear, bro, I'm gonna. I don't even know what I'm gonna lose my head, bro. I can't believe it. If he does that, Jesus Christ. Bro.
I mean, he's had injuries. It is unfortunate, but like, I mean, at the end of the day, these are the big games that they bought him for.
But with greatest
I think
sorry, Ryan.
Go on, Ryan.
I think Real Madrid signing Hazard, it's just been injuries now. Like, he's been struggling with injuries, and I think the Real Madrid could have been possibly the wrong move because he hasn't been scoring as much goals as he would have wanted to because of injuries as well. And
he's just gone there for his dream move and money and whatever follows.
Yeah. That's the whole point. You need to know. You need to have a good career, but going for the money is not getting a good career. You need to find a club that you're loyal to and that you'll perform for. But he's just gone for the money and the dream.
This was my whole debate.
For the money. I think he wanted to kind of further his career because he already accomplished a lot at Chelsea. I think he just wanted to come to Real Madrid just to not fill. Obviously, he's not going to be able to fill Ronaldo's boots, but maybe I think he just wanted to move forward in his career. Yes, money did play a part, but I think he actually just wanted to move forward.
I mean, at the time, it was the right situation for him. I mean, I think he was like the one superstar at Chelsea for the most part. I mean,
he was carrying Chelsea for years.
But
that is where I didn't understand. Go ahead.
But it's kind of ended up in a disaster for Hazard at Real Madrid. Though that's the thing.
I think Real Madrid is more tougher than performing at Chelsea. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
The thing is, Real Madrid and Hazard's team basically thought they saw an opportunity. He got 1 year left at Chelsea. It was getting born at Chelsea for him, I think. He wanted a new change, new country, so on, and an opportunity to play for in my opinion, the biggest club in the world. Yes, he has had injuries. Don't get me wrong, and he's ate a few too many hot dogs while he's been injured. But regarding tomorrow, Hazard needs the centre midfield to dominate tomorrow. They need to give him the ball service for him to do his work. Casemiro, as per usual, if Casemiro is playing tomorrow, the game. I personally think the game relies on him. Stepping up.
Because he's
doing all the dog work.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the midfield is like when the defender passes to you and you just bring the ball forward. But he's in that DM position, so he has to defend and bring the ball forward a bit when he gets it.
And Chelsea has all the skilled pace merchants, you can say. Every player of theirs is quick. if you see Hakim Ziyech, if you see Timo Werner, if you see who else is there, Kai Havertz, all these guys, Christian Pulisic, they may have the finishing or they may not, but they are quick. That is one
I
problem.
wouldn't be
With
surprised.
Mason
I
Mount.
wouldn't be surprised if it was a kind of stop-start game. You know, the likes of Casemiro. Basically been like Fernandinho when he senses City coming onto a counter attack. I may well have to stop the game by fouling, taking a yellow card for the team. I'm thinking it's going. It won't be a flowing game tomorrow.
Yeah,
For
because
me,
it's
I'm
really
just looking at
important
Casemiro
for
just as
both
easily said.
teams.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
because it's really important for both teams, and if they have to, they will make that tackle because this is to go to the Champions League final. They'll do anything tomorrow rather. They'll do anything. They might even get sent off. You never know. Like, remember when Suarez blocked that header on the line for his hands because he was that desperate to keep it out.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah,
they
the
can
World
get
Cup
it.
against Ghana.
Yeah, he could take a risk like that. You might. This is just an example. Like someone could get sent off just to take that risk and to stop them scoring and at least have a chance.
It could be the case. Unlike, let's go back into today's game, like what Angel Di Maria did. You talk about red cards. That was one of the stupidest red cards that I've seen in a long time. And Bhargav, what did you make of that red card? Did you see the red card?
Yeah, I did see it, and I think City deserves credit for the frustrations that they gave him. I mean, Fernandinho just absolutely shut him down in a sense today. Like, I mean, he was like in the first half. I think he had the one chance, Di Maria. He had the one chance that was like an Ederson mistake. In the second half, City pretty much took him out of the game. I mean, they limited Neymar, but they shut him down basically. And then eventually he was just so frustrated with it, and he eventually kicked out. I mean, that's the stupidest red card I have actually seen, and that pretty much cost it. That pretty much turned. That pretty much ended the tie right there at that point. Because after that, City just took advantage.
Okay,
Referees are deluded these days, though. Like, just talk about that. I know there might. Well, there is going to be VAR, I think. But look at the Premier League and all these referees using VAR, and like all these decisions, they're just deluded now because they don't need VAR. Like I said in a different episode thingy, they don't need VAR because it doesn't help them in their mistakes, and they can't even, like, when they're literally right next to it, they can't even make that one right decision. Like, I don't get it. It's like they do it on purpose now.
Yeah, but the main thing is, again, with respect to the red card is, I think one of the main reasons that Di Maria got frustrated today is because of Icardi as well. No contribution, nothing. He couldn't. Yeah, someone was saying the other day, Icardi is better than Lacazette. I didn't see him today on the pitch again. I didn't see him.
B, that's what they call him, man. Icardi B.
Icardi B. So yeah, Adam, before you leave, one last remark. So you said you are backing Real Madrid. What do you think will be the scoreline?
Well, 1-1 here first leg.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, I think it could be 1-1 again, and it'll go into extra time. And Real Madrid may get a second goal in extra time.
Okay, so you are backing them because it will be the. Yeah.
I'm gonna move. Listen.
Sure, no worries. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. Nice to talk
Bye.
to you and speak to you.
I'll see you later,
take care,
Brownie.
Adam.
Adam.
So the thing was, again, I was asking, the reason I asked him is because obviously that away goal is there still in the Champions League, but it may be scrapped next season as per what the reports were coming in, where you score an extra time away goal and it still counts. So let's see what happens with respect to that. But overall, we have almost gone for 45 minutes. We'll go for a 15 minutes more and maybe 15 more minutes and then wrap it up. Yeah, with respect to Relentless, what do you think, since you support Arsenal and Real Madrid, I'll ask you the tricky question. I know there is a slight difference between Zidane being a manager, an assistant manager, and taking over Real Madrid, and Arteta being an assistant manager of another top manager, but at another club and taking over Arsenal. Do you first, before we get into it, do you think that Zidane has been a success at Real Madrid? Would you say ideally yes, or would you say you still need to give him more time? He needs to prove with his own squad.
First of all, I think you already know my answer to the first question. Of course he's proved. Of
Yeah,
course he's succeeded at Real Madrid. He's won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I mean, listen, the guy can't do no wrong. You understand? You know, yes, this season has been a bit. It's been a bit weird. We've had a lot of like unnecessary losses, but it's also been down to a lot of injuries. You know, Ramos being injured, Casemiro getting a red card, losing his head, flipping. You know, these injuries, you know, has our not been fit. You know, you can't really blame him for that. But for me, I think I do think he is a good manager, but I also do think he does have very good players at his disposal, even though he might not
yeah,
have a whole lot of good players because a lot of them are injured or they either left. Listen, when you have Luka Modric, Kroos, Casemiro in your midfield, that midfield trio has probably been the best midfield trio of probably the last 5 to 10 years. You know what I mean? You know, he
yeah,
had to lose Ronaldo. Ronaldo was responsible for a lot of the goals. But he also has Benzema, who is one of the best false nines in I think in football history. He's one of the best. One of the best. He doesn't have any weaknesses. Game charisma. I'm sorry, not charisma. Uh, my head is going. I can't even think right now. Benzema, but for me, he has been a success. Do I think he needs more time? Maybe. If I was Paris, I'd give him maybe one more season. Be like, you know what? Even if we do lose the semifinal, give him one more season. You know, let him go out on a high. But for me, I think if we get knocked out of the semifinal
yeah.
for whatever reason, and we fail to win the league, if he goes, I can't really be upset. But really, at this point, it's kind of like Man United. There's no point of really sacking Ali, and the same thing with Real Madrid. There's no point of really sacking Zidane because what other manager are you going to go out and get?
Okay. So then the second part of the question that I will ask you and I will ask Bhargav as well, that there have been always examples of such success. Like Zidane is the best example of an assistant manager taking charge, working under a bigger manager, and then he is succeeding. So I get it that Zidane delivered the Champions League instantly, and he has 3 Champions League titles. But then again, why does when everyone comes to the point of Arteta, only feel that he is destined for failure and he can do no right? But when we have example, and they always compare to the fact that other managers are struggling. So first Relentless, and then we'll go to Bhargav about this as well. Why do they have less faith in Arteta and more faith in just the likes of Zidane, who have delivered titles in their first season as well? But Arteta delivered. I know he just delivered an FA Cup, but he delivered something. Yeah.
Let me just explain this one thing real quick because I gotta go. Yeah, real
Sure.
quick. One thing you have to understand is that we're talking about Zidane here, who's top 5 midfielders all time. It's top 3 midfielders all time.
Yeah.
And you know, I gotta go real quick, man. But I'll explain next time. Yeah.
Sure, no worries. We'll have this discussion soon, maybe on the post-match show of the Champions League tie tomorrow. And big up to you as well. So last 10 minutes, and I'll see you soon. Relentless. Big up to you as well. Yes, yes, Ryan. Go ahead.
I just want to say something. I believe I heard that Jose Mourinho is the new Roma manager. That's what I've heard. Not sure if it's completely true, but I've heard that he's the new Roma manager.
It's true, but he's not taking charge from tomorrow. He's taking charge from the end of the season.
I'll just tell you something though. That's a good move for him because Roma is a good club, and he'll get a bit more money, unlike he did at Spurs.
Yeah, that is understood. But the only problem that a lot of people had with the move was that Roma was always known to be playing attacking style of football, and Mourinho may go all in defense. So that was one of the main concerns that a lot of people had, and that was one of the reasons why they were saying that though it may be an upgrade for Mourinho, it may not be an upgrade for Roma in that sense. So that was the main
think-
concern.
It's a better fit for him than Tottenham, though. That's the thing.
It could be a place where Mourinho may possibly try to revive his career, because slow football, Italian style, he's already known it for some time before as well when he won the Champions League with Inter Milan. He could do that, but the only concern I think is the main problem that Mourinho will face right now is he's not the same manager that he used to be. If he was the
Yeah.
same manager that he used to be, probably Roma would win Serie A as well. But in terms of tactical battles, just one last thing: tactical battles.
Yeah.
He has a good AC Milan side to face against. He has Conte at Conte at Inter Milan, and a Juventus side that may make a certain set of moves next season as well. So it could be a good battle between some good managers, and maybe Sarri will take a new job as well, and we could see some good games happening.
But Mourinho don't have players anymore, like Terry, like who was a rock in defence.
Yeah.
We don't have players like Lampard anymore. Drogba, nope, not anymore. Like they don't have players like him anymore, and he was quite used to playing with players like him. Petr Cech, you know, he don't have players like them anymore.
Yeah, and I understand your point, but there are some good talents at Roma as well. Bhargav, are you still there? Let's see if Bhargav is.
Yeah,
Bhargav, what is your take on Mourinho as the new Roma manager from next season?
Yeah, it's weird for me. I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was gonna be like an international manager. Personally, I saw him as like an international manager. I mean, I was hoping. It's interesting because I always thought people would want to win like the World Cup as a coach. So I figured he would go into like managing Portugal or something. But
why would Portugal even take him? Portugal just won the Euros last year.
Yeah, but Portugal's coach, I think, Portugal's coach is under extreme scrutiny.
But didn't you mention it to me that you think they're one of the favorites to win the?
Yes. They're the favorites, yes, but it's also England. England's also a big favorite.
I think Mourinho could replace. I don't think he could replace Southgate, because if he did, he wouldn't last there because of his big mouth. As an international manager, Ryan, who do you think? Do you think Mourinho could someday be a Wales manager or something like that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like I don't know if he would handle the dressing room. You never know. Like we go upfield, not downfield, upfield, or downfield, not upfield. You know, you don't know. I think he wouldn't be that bad at Wales, and Ryan Giggs and his Wales job is hanging on by a string. I think he's been sacked now, anyway, because he's been insulting people. So yeah, he's gone to jail. So yeah, and we got Rob Page.
Yeah.
And we got Rob Page, who I've never heard of. I got to be honest. He was supposed to be the assistant, but now he's the head coach. I don't know. I wouldn't mind Jose. Just give him a few months, see how he does in half a season. That'll do for me.
And we will do a full stream on the Euros in particular. But Ryan, if you had to pick a favorite for the Euros, who do you think will win? Because Bhargav's, I know, is Portugal. Which team do you think will win the Euros this year?
I hope it's Wales. We got to the semi-finals the last time we went into the Euros, but I think we'll probably get knocked out in our group. We've got Turkey, Switzerland, and Italy. Like those are some big clubs, and those are going to be some very hard teams for Wales. So I'm not sure, but I do think I just have this feeling: Germany, Italy, or Brazil. No, Brazil are not in the Euros. Sorry.
You would have to get them into the Euros first.
That's the World Cup. That's the World Cup. Yes. I'd probably say out the top three. I would say is England, Italy, and Germany. One of them.
Let's see what
Portugal will
happens
make
there.
it to the semi. Portugal will make it to the quarters or semis.
Let's see
So
if
I
that
think all the
happens.
round of 16. Yeah.
And Relentless, who do you think would be your favorite for the Euros? We'll do a full stream on this, but just which team do you think is going to be your favorite?
When it comes to the team I root for is mainly France, but I have a funny
Good
feeling
shout.
that Portugal
Good
might
shout.
might nick this one. But I do think
Maybe.
it's either between France and Portugal.
Yeah, because
I
the last
go ahead, Ran.
the last Euros that actually happened in the Euro 2016, it was actually Brazil. Why do I keep talking about Brazil? It was actually Portugal versus France in the final in the last Euro. So maybe I like that. Could be.
See, the main thing is I get the point. I get the point that France is the one of the top teams,
Yeah.
and I understand what you're trying to say. But I get the
Yeah.
feeling that I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be Portugal. France, I can see as one team. You guys have forgotten one of the bigger teams, that is Belgium, completely.
No.
And
They'll make
I
it to the
think,
semis.
yeah, I think it will be. I think it will be between France, Belgium, and England. One of these, like it will be. I think it will be maybe France will win because they are the best team right now. Belgium may be second, and England could be third. That is how I
I
feel it will
think
be.
No, I
I
think
think
Portugal.
my
Portugal's second, man.
if I was
Portugal
to
Portugal may be
say
fourth for me. Go ahead.
if I was to say a top four from the semis to the finals, I'd say France, Italy, England, and Germany. That's just my
Okay.
opinion.
I would have added Holland as well, but the thing is that Ronald Koeman
Van
leaving his
Dijk.
team messed that up.
Yeah.
So that is another
Was,
thing.
Plus, they're
wasn't
not gonna have Van Dijk as well.
wasn't there ru-
No,
wasn't
Van
there
Dijk is fit.
rumor?
Van Dijk is
Wasn't
already
there?
training.
Go ahead, Bahav.
Yeah. So Relentless, I have a question for you. Who has the better midfield, PSG or like Madrid?
Madrid.
I
Like
disagree.
that's a hard one, right? Because I
No.
think
The only world class players PSG have is now only midfielder they have that I rate highly is Verratti and Paredes. Paredes is decent. Other than that, I don't think their midfield.
I
I don't even
mean,
think that should even be a question if I'm being honest.
yeah, but with Idrissa Guy is pretty good though.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
from
don't.
Fairly
he's
pretty
not
active.
on the level. He's not on the level of Casemiro. I don't.
I mean, you have Casemiro. That's the thing is like I think today the difference in this tie for me was the midfield. So,
No,
thing
I
is,
think.
on
and talk menus
Casemiro,
here. Talk menus in the back. I think.
Casemiro and Idrissa Guy on their day can be really good. I think.
I think the difference today was not actually the midfield, because the thing is PSG has only 11 best players. When they don't have those 11 players playing, their team gets disrupted. It gets, you can say, it becomes a mess. Today,
Yeah,
Mbappe not being there, Icardi was like a handicap to them. It was like Man City had 12 players. The other thing is there, they like to play their football in a very smooth way. They try to play it, though it doesn't always happen. Like it didn't happen today. Neymar was every time running forward, trying to find Icardi, but because Icardi and he do not have that connection, he was always losing the ball,
mm,
and that
yeah.
made the midfield look weak as well. Yeah,
And,
go ahead, relax.
and you want to know something about PSG? PSG are one of those teams. Like I like PSG. Like even though they're filled with money, they got some good players. They got Neymar. I know everybody's going to be quick to slate Neymar after this performance. It's whatever.
I don't
They
think
got
so. He was
Mbappe.
their best player. I think
They
he
got
was their best
Mbappe.
player by a
Yeah,
country
of
mile.
course they're the best player. But listen, it's that bar gap that doesn't fit the narrative. So people are going to say, yeah, he's overrated. He's this, that, and the third. But they didn't watch the game. Same thing when Messi got knocked out by Liverpool. Oh, Messi this 4-0. They didn't watch the game. Messi was the only one who was trying that game. But anyway, let's not go off topic. I like PSG. I like they got nice kits and whatnot. They're a decent club. But listen, I don't like the way that football club is ran. And I'm thinking maybe it's because they have players like Di Maria, Mbappe, Verratti. Maybe they fill up. Maybe they take too much up of like the wages. So maybe that's why they have to go buy like dead players, like trash players. For me, like the players, they should have better players. Like it's Paris, it's the nightlife. The who wouldn't want to play for PSG? But for some reason, it seems like the only great players they have is Navas, the goalkeeper, who hasn't been that great over the past 2 days. 2 games.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
Today
they
he
have
was good. Today he was
Marquinhos.
good. Good.
They got some decent players, but other than that, I look at the rest of the team. I look at their midfield. Who am I taking? There's not a whole lot of players that are going to go play for big clubs like Barcelona in their midfield.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Paredes,
but I think the
Paredes
problem
been
with
decent.
PSG though, I think the problem with PSG is it's usually like in, for example, City's a really good team, and I think Pep's coaching was actually pretty good today. Was extremely good. In what they did, like they got he got a tune out of pretty much every player for the most part.
That's what Pep
The,
does.
the thing
Spot
is,
on.
if Cancelo was playing left back, he would have been caught out a lot of times because he would be out of position, and that is why he chose Zinchenko for the two-legged tie against PSG, because he may not be giving him that much going forward, but Zinchenko can at least you can say defend better, and he is a player that will try to
At
not
least
go too
Zinchenko's good
forward.
on the ball. He's good on the ball with Zinchenko.
He's good on the ball, and also he will not overcommit. Like Cancelo overcommits, and he's like a total attack-minded player at times. Zinchenko is more, you can say, more sensible in that aspect. Apart from the fact when he was almost about to get himself sent off, and Fernandinho, I had to ask him to shut up and get back in line. And I think that was the only moment that he had today where he could have lost it. And the other thing is, again, I'm saying this: PSG have just us playing 11. Once their 11 is disrupted, they don't know what to do. And with respect to, if you see, Neymar is their ball carrier, but if you compare Neymar to any Premier League player, Neymar has a lot of trickery, but he doesn't carry the ball forward that quickly. So so say City players or any players that are playing against PSG, they get enough time to get back to Neymar. The only thing that they have to manage and they have to cope up with is his trickery. He will not run around like a bullet. He will not run in full force. He will run and dribble at the same time, and he will give you time to come back. If you get tricked by his trickery, you're done for it. But if you stay with him and you don't do anything over smart and don't overcommit into a challenge or two, then you can probably win the ball off of him. If you block his outlets as well, like they did today to Di Maria, and Icardi was just a lost player. If Mbappe was lost in the first leg, Icardi was lost in the second
Yeah,
leg.
yeah.
So
And also, can I
yeah,
mention
yeah.
the listen, Phil Foden. I'm telling you, this kid, like I don't know I don't know where he's from, bro. For me, I think I swear to God, this kid is just his name is Phil Fodondinho, bro. I
Dude, he
swear
was
he's
trash
Brazilian.
today. He was trash today. What are you talking about?
No. But did you see that run that he made?
Yeah, I
Did you
saw
see that
that
run
part,
he made?
but his
He wasn't
finishing is
trash today.
way off. His
No, I
finishing
don't
is
think he
way
was
off.
trash today. No,
No, I don't
but
think he was
I
that
said
bad.
no. What I said, yeah, a couple months ago, and I got a bit of heat. I said drop Sterling and just play Foden. Let
Yeah, I
him
mean,
play on the
I'd
left,
agree with
let
that.
him play on the
I'd
right.
agree with
Because
that.
Foden is that Leroy Sané replacement. Play him on the left, play him on the right, play him number 10. The
What
geezer
I
play him
think
was
about
not.
Foden. Yeah, I
Foden, this
think
kid
give
is the
give
real
give
deal.
him
Hold on.
give
Let
him
him finish. Rand, hold on. Let him finish. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, I'm gonna
relentless.
finish. I'm gonna finish real quick. I just want to say something about Foden. Yeah, this kid is the real deal. And listen, he's working under Pep, and this is why I say this is why I say he's better than Saka, bro. Because yes, Saka might not have the right environment around him to succeed, but this kid Foden has every single tool to succeed. He has the great players he can learn from. He has the good environment. He has the training facilities. He has the manager, bro. This kid, I don't see why he can't win a Ballon d'Or. I don't see why he can't win it. This guy, the promise he's shown at the age of 20, he's playing the Champions League. Single-handedly brought them back against Dortmund. If he didn't score that goal, or if he didn't perform that day, Pep was out. He was losing. This guy, the performance he's had against Liverpool at Anfield, this guy is showing up. He's showing up. And you know what? This is why I say Yes, he was in and out the lineup for the beginning of the season. We wonder what Pep does. The reason why Pep develops so many players. He plays them
If
when they
that was
need to be
good.
played. He plays them when they need to be played. He's not like Arteta who just plays Bukayo Saka every single game. He's just getting kicked around the pitch. He's getting injured. No. He knows how to do. Yes, he might have the players to do that, but listen, he knows what he's doing with Phil Foden. He said Phil Foden is the most talented player he's worked since Messi.
No,
I'm
I'll
not saying
react to your Saka comment, but before that, just want to say, yeah, one thing is there, and I'll go to Ryan. Then after that, even I tweeted out that why do they need Messi when they have Foden? And the thing is, his contributions were vital in many ways. But yeah, Ryan, you wanted to say something before I go into the Saka versus Foden thing?
Yeah, my thoughts on Phil Foden. I think he's definitely one for the future. Look at him. Give him a few more years, and he can be that, Messi player, or like he could be out and out scoring hat tricks every week, outskilling players. But just give him a few years, and he can be up there as the best player. Yeah, I guess because he's been performing decently. This game he wasn't particularly the best. But he, in other games, you can say that he is definitely going to be a brilliant player, and he's going to be in like £100 million soon, or dollars, or euros.
Yeah. Can I just make one point? Another
Yeah,
thing
sure.
that I think his ceiling is higher than most players his age. Yes, because he's playing in England. And
Yeah,
sometimes a lot of English players they can't really go out abroad and play football because it's a whole other system. What he's doing is that he's playing in England, so he knows the atmosphere. He knows he knows how what's the word I'm looking for? How hostile it can be in England. He has that physical attribute to his game. Even though he's small, he can protect the ball with his body, and he's also learning how to play football the right way, the Spanish way, because he has one of the best Spanish managers to ever play. So he's learning different ways to play football. For me, he has the technical ability. He's a decent passer. He can read the game well. He's good with the ball at his feet. Listen, this guy can play for Real Madrid, Barca. He can play for any team he wants because he can just simply fit into that system. I think he's so good, and I think over the past couple years, like or so, I've been saying, play Foden, play Foden. But now I know why he's been betting him in slowly. Now he's starting to see this guy really develop, and I think he's better than Sterling. I think he's better than. I said he's better than Sterling. He's better to that system than Sterling. And yes,
He
you can say
is.
I'm being
He is.
reactionary, bro. But listen, Sterling has the pace. He's dangerous and whatnot, but he does not have that it factor that this young uh, kid's Foden has. For me, Foden should he should at least be starting, or if not starting, at least playing a big role in the Euros because you have Grealish, you have uh, what's his name, Jaden Sancho. You have these young players who have pace, who can dribble. They can bring something new to the English team. So I'm just hoping that he continues to develop, and you will see that this guy in 4 or 5 years time he'll be on the Ballon d'Or shortlist. Simple. He's really, I think he's that good.
I think you are going a bit long with the Ballon d'Or thing. Let's not get into that right now because there are various factors to that. Injuries is a major thing. It can halt any player's career. But yeah, he is right there at the top. He is the best young
he
talent in the Premier League right now.
he could play for under any Spanish manager though. Like at least if they play a bit like Pep, then he can fit right into that squad. I couldn't see
Bring him,
why.
bring him to Arsenal and let's see him play under a Spanish manager.
But that Spanish man, no, Nitish,
I got you on that.
that Spanish manager will be gone soon though.
I don't think so. But go ahead. You were making a point. Sorry.
Yeah, but I think if he could play under any Spanish manager, that plays a bit like Pep, or like play for Spanish teams with Spanish tactics, then he could fit in. But I think he's good for any club. I think he can be good if he has those players to support him, then he can be good for any club.
I think it's more to do with the quick counter-attacking tactics.
Yeah.
I think Talk Manu was going to say something. Bhargav, I know
Yeah.
even you unmuted your mic. Hold on. Talk Manu was just going to say something.
Yeah, I think with the Phil Foden thing, you've got to remember here that it's a meeting of footballing intelligence and one of the greatest managers the game's ever seen. You put those two things together, and you get the end product of somebody like Phil Foden. And when I say the football intelligence, we mean, we're talking about the slight nuances in his movement, his understanding of keeping the shape, not when to press, not pressing, when to go wide, not go wide, when to come back inside, and on top of that, I wouldn't say he's not the most skillful of the players, is there? Let's have that right. So it's down to his footballing intelligence, and that is a football intelligence with a player who can play simple football is a very, very, very dangerous asset indeed. And in terms of England, like I said earlier on when I first came on, Gareth Southgate needs to build this squad around the likes of Phil Foden, because the guys that you say with him, between him and maybe Sancho, if you've got a decent midfield around him, crikey, they'd have to play attacking football though in order to get the best out of them. We can't be playing we don't really want to be playing sort of dawdling counter-attack football where you chance of you losing your concentration because you're out of possession and you're trying to sort of keep the shape of the team without having the ball too much. You can lose
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's right. I finished.
No, I was just adding that the thing that you mentioned works for two places. Like one is England and one Manchester United as well. So I think the main problem there will be for both. You don't need a player like Harry Kane there then. But the problem is he's your captain. Because if you want to play the style of the Foden style kind of play that we saw today, you need a quick striker because all your other players are quick. Like a Rashford is quick, Sancho is quick. The only one that can slow you down there is a Harry Kane. Unless he comes centrally and creates or plays a second pass or a third pass to either one of these guys, he will slow down the attack. And the only time I think Foden can probably get into the side will be when Harry Kane maybe gets injured or is rested. That too, if Marcus Rashford is not selected as the first choice striker, because again, it's all that the complications start from Harry Kane. And that is why a lot of people said that we want Harry Kane at Manchester United. And I think that if he comes to Manchester United, he will only cause trouble for you because he'll slow down your counter attacks.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Kane, though, what he does for a lot of time for Tottenham, with Son, when he plays that kind of deeper right-sided role, he can, why could he not do that for England? Kane, he's a great provider. He's a great, strong on the ball. He could be somebody who could actually get in there and win the ball back and make a pass for the likes of Foden and Sancho to run on to. And then if need be, I'm sure Foden can hold the ball up, so Sancho can hold the ball up, with support as well. But you know what? Nitish, this should be another great stream. We need to do a stream about the England squad trying to fit Sancho, Kane, and Foden in there, because it's a bit of a puzzle that. And if Southgate can't figure out how to best utilize all the ingredients he's got at his disposal, then he could make himself really, really stupid, and we could, not have a great tournament coming up.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that we need to discuss. I have a lot of plans for the Euros before that in advance. While the Euros are going on, a lot of shows to do, and we can probably do one on England as well, dedicated to the English national team, which will be
And
hoping.
Wales?
I feel Wales can be done as a different show in itself. Because I think England are always a favorite to win some. They have always a strong team, but at the end, are they favorites to win something? Not sure too much about it. But they have a team that can potentially win, but they don't end up winning. That has always been a concern. I remember that game against Croatia. England must have thought, okay, this game is in our pocket. We're going to the final. And suddenly it all turned around. Mandzukic scored, and they were like, okay, we're going back into the third place and the fourth place round. And then they went back home with the fourth place finish. No, with the third place finish.
The thing is, when England scored that game, it was only about 6 minutes in. And they're like, oh, it's coming home, oh, football's coming home. And, you know, because they always sing that song. And whenever I'm a bit off topic, but when I was going to say something else as well, but I'll say this as well. When I went down the Cardiff Stadium once, where some like English team that we played, I forgot who it was, was singing it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home, and the Cardiff fans sung back, you messed it up, you messed it, England messed it up, they messed it up, they messed it up, they messed it, England messed it up, it's coming home.
You know what it was, Brian? You know what it was? Our game management in that game was just not good enough. It wasn't good enough.
I get the feeling that England is a lot like Arsenal, but I'm not going to get too much into it right now. Bhargav wanted to say something. He had to wait for some time. Go ahead, Bhargav.
I mean, I think England are pretty lucky that they have Sancho, Saka, and Foden, and one of those three players is going to be like your Neymar, which unlike years before. The problem I think is going to come with Sancho. The problem with Sancho, I think, is he has to choose a proper coach to develop him in the coming years once his contract is up, because I think that's going to take him to a next level. With Saka, it's going to be like he with Arsenal, I think he's in a good situation because he gets to play more. But it all depends on the whole Arteta situation and getting him a proper coach, or at least getting the proper people around him. That would be, I think that's going to be Saka's big issue. With Foden, he's in an ideal situation. I just don't know how long Pep's going to keep going. So that's going to be the limiting factor on that. I think for Sancho, if he goes to like Liverpool, which is being suggested, I think that could be really good for him. But again, as always, the problem with English players isn't their early 20s. It's like the middle of their 20s that becomes a problem. And I think the media gets to them, and a lot of that. Look at Dele Alli. Look at all the stuff that happened to him. So if they can avoid that, they could be on targets. But we'll see.
Dele Alli's biggest problem was that he was at a shit club. But the main thing about that is, just want to add one thing to your point as well. You are forgetting there is Grealish, there is Maddison, there is with respect to strikers, Rashford, Harry Kane. Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho, Rashford coming in on the wings. Who else did we forget?
But we're talking young player development.
No, I get it. But what I'm trying to say is these guys are not going to get into the playing 11. None of them. I barely think Mount will make it. I'm doubtful about that as well. Because if you remember the setup, there were the likes of Eric Dyer, who was playing as a defensive midfielder, if I'm not wrong. And there is Harry Winks as well there. I don't know if he's still rated by Southgate and what surprises he may come up with. Then if you see, there is Grealish as well in midfield. And with who else can play as the holding midfielder? Am I forgetting? I'm thinking. Sorry.
Henderson.
Declan Rice is there. Henderson is there. We are forgetting all these names. Do you think that these kids can replace them? I don't think so. So it's good that we can see such talent budding, but I don't think these guys will get replaced so easily, because you have some kind of you can say some kind of an impact or an influence on a team. And after the performance that they showed in the World Cup, I don't think all these players can directly be dropped from the Euros team, and Gareth Southgate, who's not known to be the smartest of managers, will suddenly say that I'll rely on all youngsters.
No, you're right. But I mean, I think with England, it's I think there's a lot with England. I think one is they have this, like, how should I say it? They've lost so much, and they have that it kind of, they have to get through that barrier, the mental block of like getting to like a semifinal. I think that's one thing that's that's definitely something that has to be like addressed.
And have they won the under-23 World Cup or anything in recent times? These kids?
I think
That
the
was
furthest
super
they got
quick.
was it fourth last year? Fourth at that
Yes.
World Cup.
So I don't think Gareth Southgate will be so adventurous unless they win some kind of major trophy in the under 23s or under 20s. I think only then will he be pushing some of these into the team. I get that feeling. He will want them to win an international trophy because that is where they will be playing regular football. And talk on you, Manu, you were saying something. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine, mate. No, I was just going back to what Varga was saying. I was going to allude to what I said before about the game management, and maybe that might be a fair factor for Gareth Southgate. Is that, look, if I put too many young players in here, are they going to be able to cope with the game management side of this of the tournament like this? Because you put too many youngsters in with a bit of experience, it could turn out that the starlets that we think are going to get us there could end up being the ones that nap it up for us, because the game management is not matured. Because we have to bear in mind that is a massive part of football. We've seen it tonight under Pep. We see it in other teams. The game management, the understanding of when to press, not to press, where to press. Keeping your shape, getting back in shape quickly. If you look at Man City tonight, every time they needed to get back into shape, wallop was done really quickly, and their shape, you could just see it. It's like looking at I don't know what, a chess set. They're just all there, boom, all in line, all in the correct places. And yeah, I don't know if we've, as an England team, you either go one way or the other. You either say, you know what, I'm going to trust to the youth and have a little bit of experience in there, and just say, you know what, go out and express yourself. Let's just see just go out and express yourself, enjoy yourself, do what you do best. Or we stick to the tried and tested methods of putting experience and all the heads out there with maybe one or two youngsters, and see if they can actually push it further.
And we forgot a couple of stars with the likes of Jesse Lingard also being there, and who knows, maybe Raheem Sterling will also be included, because I don't think he'll be directly dropped just like Pep did. I mean, because at international level, you do need sometimes players who have experience as well. But I think this can be a whole stream. As I said before, I have plans. Maybe we can all come up with our starting 11, and at the end we can decide what will be Southgate's starting 11, which will be completely different for all we know. And we can eventually have a combination and see. Ours will obviously be better and more sensible than Southgate's. I get the feeling. Go ahead, Relentless.
Grealish has to start. That's all.
I want Grealish at Arsenal. I want him at Arsenal.
Yeah, Grealish is a real baller. But again, my question with Grealish is, if you watch when he plays for Villa, I mean, granted, I've not watched as much of him as I should have done, but from what I have seen of him, he likes the protection of the wing. So, in other words, he knows there's not the only place that the players are going to be coming from usually are from his left on the wing or straight on at him, and he knows how he can deal with that. But if you was to move him into a different position where he's got to be thinking all around him, is he going to be able to come up with the goods? Because I've seen him many times when he goes in field and he ends up on the floor. And I don't want to put him in the category of Jack Wilshere, but there are comparisons.
Yeah, I do understand what you're trying to say, but the thing is, that is one of the reasons and concerns with respect to Grealish, because at Aston Villa, everything is built around him. But when he makes the move to say maybe he plays for England, and maybe when he plays for another club, if he moves out of Aston Villa, whether that club will be able to give him that comfort and give him that convenient style of play. Also, you can say maybe give him that luxury to do whatever he wants to do. Because even Saka, to an extent, at times was being isolated and had limited options, but he was playing his football still. Grealish is one such player. But what happens is with Arteta, he's a very specifically tactically set up manager, because even when he was not playing Martinelli initially, one of the reasons was that Martinelli does not play as an inward forward. and Saka and Pepe were both playing as invert forwards on the right, and Willian was kind of playing invert forward on the left, coming into the right hand side. So Martinelli was not doing that. Martinelli was running wherever he would get space, and at times he was overlapping and running in the same direction as Tierney. So Arteta has a lot of specific, you can say, tactical play. If another manager like Southgate, whose tactical play I still need to understand and need to do a research on, like most of us, if he has such a specific play, he may not be regularly able to use Grealish like an Aston Villa team does, because that team is entirely built around Grealish. But England will never be built around Grealish, because the problem is, first of all, egos, player egos. We know that from the days of Lampard, Gerrard, and all those things. We know well about it. Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, Terry, Ferdinand, all those things. Now, the other thing is, youngsters may still not have that kind of attitude and ego and hatred. But with the senior team players, if like say Grealish is playing with who will play a left back, maybe who does generally play now for England? It's been so long since I've seen the international damn break. On the right hand side, it's like Trent. So on the left hand side, right now, who's playing for England?
Reece James has to start on the right back. Reece James
Sorry?
has to start.
No, I'm not having that debate right now. I'm saying who generally starts
No,
right now
Kyle
on the left
Walker
back.
all the way, man. Kyle Walker out all the way.
This is why I was not getting into it. But I remembered Walker, but I remembered he plays on the right.
As long as it's not Trent, then it's fine. As long as it's not Trent.
Let's get back to the point, that is the left back. Who is currently playing for England as a left back? We all remember right back.
Trippier or Chilwell.
No, Trippier was a right back, right? He's playing left back currently.
I think Saka's gonna start there. It seems.
Good shout.
Let's not get into. So Chilwell is playing currently, right? When he's fit, and when he is not fit, when he gets injured, if I remember right, who used to come on? Was it Davies?
The thing is, though,
Yeah.
I think Saka is not a left back. I think he's a striker because he's been really good at front. Saka.
If we go on with this debate, it will take another hour. But yeah, sure. Saka is more of a creative player. His finishing is not that good. So when Twitter fans, like fans on Twitter, were like, last time Phil Foden missed the chance in front of goal, they were like, Greenwood would score this and Saka would score this. So I had sent out a tweet at that point of time, which I reshared today as well. First of all, Saka's finishing is worst out of the three. He's not as good as Greenwood and Foden in terms of finishing. Secondly, if Saka would be playing at City, if Greenwood would be playing, he would not be able to bench Cavani, because Cavani is a top player and fits into the Manchester United squad. So unless he would be playing as a winger, Greenwood would not get into the team. So, and today Foden has shown some quality, even though he hit the post, but his overall play was, I think, very good today as well. I think Bhargav disagrees to that for some reason. Bhargav, why do you think that it was just average play from Phil Foden today?
For me, I think he was. I think it's just the way they played today. Actually, it's not on him, but he did miss that chance at the end. And he wasn't as influential as most games. I mean, he was making the runs, he was doing his stuff, but it wasn't across both legs. I don't think he had one of his best performances, for me personally.
Okay,
and just he missed a really big chance.
Yeah, so that was the chance that I talked about.
Today he missed a really big chance.
The
one thing he had today was an assist, though. That assist was really nice.
Yeah, go ahead, Relentless.
You remember when I said Riyad Mahrez is better than Salah?
No, I don't think so. It was a tap-in goal. See,
Mahrez doesn't, like, for me, I don't think Mahrez. I think Mahrez was just in really good positions, though. You got to give him credit for that, though.
Yes, that credit goes there. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't like an individual you dribble across two players and then take a shot kind of goal. It was a tap-in. The Foden one.
If people are jumping on the bandwagon that Mahrez is better than Neymar, that's BS.
No way.
No, he's like Salah. See, Salah's main problem has been finishing off those chances once he has created them. He creates a lot of chances, but finishing them off.
I mean, his weak foot. The one thing I liked about Mahrez today is how he used his weak foot on the right side. He was really nice actually with the weak foot finish, and I think he could have got a hat trick today actually.
And the thing with Mahrez doesn't always get to start games for Pep. For some reason, he started in both the legs and he has performed well. I'm not denying that. But he doesn't play the entire season for Pep. That is because of Pep's tactics or whatever it is. And even last season, he scored a lot of goals coming off the bench as a substitute. But when he was started in the game, he could not score those goals because I had him in my FPL team at times as well. He would just come on and he would not be able to. He would just start games and he would not have the same impact. So he is more like an energy rush, an adrenaline rush that you adrenaline. Okay, your mic is doing that again. It's an adrenaline rush that he gives to the team, and he does score some good goals. But today was one of those days where he just had to be at the right place at the right time, and everything was just spoon fed to him. So
Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think Foden had an okay game today. I think it's his finishing is the only because some of the chances he gets are really, really nice. And if you don't finish those, it could end up like the Messi World Cup situation, where basically.
But today he hit the post. He hit the post once as well. He did okay. I'm not too agitated about him not finishing off the chances. Even though I'm not a City fan, I can say that I think his overall performance was behind Fernandinho. It was him, and then according to me, Diaz. So these three were the top three players. Fernandinho number 1, number 2 Foden, and number 3 Diaz.
Actually, for me, it's Kyle Walker number 1, just because he shadowed Neymar in the first half. Just I think he set the tone on that, and then nothing came down his wing, and that's usually Neymar's wing when you think about it.
I give Icardi a lot of credit for that as well, because every time Neymar looked for a pass, there was no Icardi.
Yeah, but he was busy I think it was stats wise.
Icardi would have been probably texting his wife while playing on the field. That was the situation.
I don't know what the hell he was on the field for, actually.
He was probably thinking about stealing somebody else's misses, bro.
I mean, even I think De Bruyne also had like an okay game. I didn't think he did. I think he played he fit the tactics with the false 9, but I don't think he had a really great game either.
No, but if De Bruyne has to play this kind of tactics regularly, he's going to leave that club for sure.
No, I don't think so, because he still gets a lot of good chances.
No, his main passes are from deep in midfield. Those long passes. If he's playing as a striker, you are eliminating that part of his game. You don't do that, and that is why even Belgium, he was played as a cam. But the main thing is, when you're playing him as a cam at times, you're eliminating that long pass that he can play. Yes, he has his through passes as well, but that is where the trickery comes in. He doesn't dribble that much. He can't hold the ball for too long, because if you charge on him, he will just have to pass it to someone. So there are two options. When he's playing deep in midfield, he has two options. Either you play a simple pass, or you suddenly play a long pass or a lob or a chip. When he goes into a cam position, he can't play a lob or a chip, because that pass, his range is you can say reduced, and his range is generally of a long pass. So when you reduce that, he can ideally try to play a through ball or a simple pass. He tends to play simple passes more and sometimes plays a through ball. So that actually hurts his play. And as a false 9, I don't think he'll be any better than Emil Smith-Rowe in the long run if he's continuously played there, like he played against Villarreal. Because he will try to do things, but most of his movement and his passing range will be restricted.
I mean, all right. So who had the better midfield in your opinion today, City or PSG?
It has to be City, obviously.
It has to be City. Yeah, that's what I think that was the summary of the game for me. For me, that was the summary of the entire tie.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would still want De Bruyne in my midfield rather than him being a striker.
I don't know what's happening with Aguero. I don't know what's happening with Aguero, but
no, he's just going to make a last-minute appearance if they're winning, and that's all he'll do. Or probably if it goes to penalties, he'll probably come on for a penalty kick.
It's kind of sad.
I don't think De Bruyne is a striker. He's obviously a cam, because he's really good at finishing, but he's better at passing in that cam position through to the winger or striker. That's what he's best at. And striker is not passing, because he's getting the ball played through to him instead of passing the ball through to a different striker. So he's being played at striker, and now he's going to have to finish, which he's actually quite decent at doing. But we want to see him at his best with passing.
Yeah, and the thing is, it actually, unfortunately, PSG didn't have that Mbappe threat forward. Otherwise, this could have actually been a tactical fail for Pep, because he would have had to bring De Bruyne into the midfield again and probably switch Foden into a false nine. I think the only reason Foden wasn't played in the false nine is because of his finishing.
No,
Yeah.
because I think
Maybe.
all right. So the system it looks like is De Bruyne lays off balls for Foden, and I think that second person is the one that should be finishing. So I think De Bruyne could be better there, but I think I don't know. Like the whole form, what Pep's been doing with Bernardo and like um and De Bruyne as like the central striker. Dropping back it's kind of unique, but it's also a little bit. I guess it eliminates the need for like a actual true striker.
I get the feeling that if Foden would have finished off some of his chances, the position that De Bruyne started in the game, it would have been Foden, and De Bruyne would have been playing in place of Foden in the formation somewhere centrally. But because of Foden not being able to finish off his chances in front of goal, I think that switch was made. And though it did, and the other thing is, you need to remember one thing: Kevin De Bruyne is not a pacey runner. So I think this was also one of Pep's tactics that if you want to counter attack, we need a fast player on the wing, and that position is like more or less a winger as well. So I think that helped. Those two things combined. But at the end of the day, I think Pep also thought that maybe he will be taking off De Bruyne like he did, because maybe it could be a fitness thing as well. That I don't want you to run too much in the midfield.
I mean, that's the problem, though. I mean, this is really creative when you think about it. This is why Pep's a really good coach. But Arteta should not look at this and be like, I can do this. Like that's the problem with him. I don't want this on Thursday.
I don't have a problem with the manager experimenting. I don't think anyone should have a problem with the manager experiment.
Not in big game.
See, that is the thing. If it works, it's a master class. If it doesn't work, it's not a master class. It's an abuse class. But at the end of the day, the thing is, if a Mourinho did it and it didn't work, they would say, okay, but Mourinho tries such things. Just because it's a new guy who's doing it, people will tend to say that it didn't work, and they will say that, okay, he should never be doing it. He's a rookie. Now,
Actually,
if he's in the second leg, he goes with the same thing, the normal thing. That is Aubameyang playing as striker, everything normal. He doesn't touch a thing, and they still don't get the result that is needed. Then who's at fault? Everything same to same. They have David Luiz coming in, Tierney coming in, Lacazette possibly coming in. Everything perfect. Not a change, not an experiment, not a single thing to experiment. Then again, they will blame the manager.
So is that so? Actually, to answer what Anuj just said, is it a cam or is it a false nine? Because both are pretty much somewhat. Both are somewhat like in the same position anyway, but like one starts further up, comes down.
Generally, cam happens in a 4-2-3-1, where the the guy behind the striker is the cam, and if your striker is not actually a striker, he becomes a false nine. But this was like, I think, a 4-4-2. The formation that I saw on Google, it was kind of 4-4-2. So it was more like counter attack.
I thought it was three though. I was sure it was three.
De Bruyne is naturally going to fall into the midfield. So I think it was more or less Mahrez up front, and the other one who was pushing forward was Foden on the wing. So it wasn't exactly a false nine. You can say it was like he was playing as a false striker, but who would be more or less in midfield, because Kevin De Bruyne will be more or less in midfield, but he wasn't that deep. If he would have started in a deeper position, probably he would have been more deeper.
Yeah.
He was the only reason, maybe both the reason for him being there. Again, I'm saying because I think his finishing is better than Foden's, and I think Pep didn't want Foden to be taking shots, but he wanted him to be creating chances. So that is the reason that he went for Foden to play on a side where he would be involved in the game more as a winger rather than a striker.
I mean, he was laying off a ton of balls though. He was laying off a ton of balls to Foden to like run onto. Same thing with like a lot of those passes to the wings. So it could be a cam. I think it's more of a false nine though. Look more like a false nine.
It looked like a false striker, but again, as we said, that De Bruyne being De Bruyne, he'll be coming deep into the midfield, but he wasn't going that deep. If you see ideally his position, he will start somewhere towards the center circle. From there, he'll be moving forward, carrying the ball and playing a long pass or a through ball or a simple pass. But this one was more like coming towards the attacking midfielder cam kind of role. So even though he started as a striker, he was more towards the attacking midfield kind of
Same
side.
area though. Same area of space almost.
Same area, but it
Not as deep.
wouldn't include too much of the deeper one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
deeper midfield role. So that was the main difference.
Big
And-
up to Miss Melina in the chat as well.
Always here.
Yep. Big up to Miss
Always here.
Melina, big up Anuj, big up Brownie as well, and everyone in the chat. Okay, one last thing. We decided that everyone has their favorites to go there, like to go into the from the semis to the finals. City is already through, and I just want to ask you guys before we wrap it up quickly. Let's start with Bhargav. Bhargav, what do you think? Like overall with Pochettino, were you impressed as a manager? Any good?
Impressed as like who?
With Pochettino in any way?
No, I think he. Okay, so this is a problem for me is because I think for me the whole tie like was dead after City went 1-0 up. I think when PSG went 1-0 up, the tactics in the second half of the first leg is probably the biggest part of the tie for me. I mean, instead of like taking it to City, they decided to lay off and deal with the tie away. So I think for me that was Pochettino's tactics. I wasn't really impressed with the 4-4-2 laying back and not having a link between Neymar and Mbappe and just completely isolating them in the first tie. So I wasn't really impressed with Pochettino.
So you kind of blame him for the first leg loss, not the players like Navas messing it up and the wall leaving the hole in between. You blame it on Pochettino.
Yeah, definitely. This one's more.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you give him, like as a manager?
As a manager, I think I'd give him a 5. He got outclassed by Pep, I think. First,
I'm not going to ask for Pep because it's going to be either a 9 or a 10. Everyone knows that. So Pochettino, okay, a 5. Let's go to Talk Manu. Talk Manu, what did you think about Pochettino as a manager? Because maybe this season he's safe, but the questions could be asked about him next season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree a lot with what Bhargav just said. You could look at the players because they did miss opportunities. But yeah, so I would say, I don't know. I don't think it's as low as a 5. I think I'd probably go maybe 6 or a 7.
Okay, and you put some blame on the managers, not just on the players, not just the manager.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. To be fair.
The way I saw Icardi playing, I would have binned him even in the first half. he was just not there. So I get your point that some of the players were just not there. Okay, let's go to Ryan. Ryan, what did you think about Pochettino as a manager, and how much would you rate him out of 10?
Pochettino, there's one thing for you: he doesn't win trophies. I think League should be one that he should be looking to win as a trophy, definitely, because he's got such a good, strong side for PSG. Out of 10, we haven't seen too much of him yet, but we will see more of him in the future. Right now, I'd probably give him a 6.
Okay, and Relentless, what did you think of Pochettino as a manager, and do you think he can do something, and what do you rate him out of 10?
Rate him like based on this game?
On the 2 legs.
I think he's. Listen, I rate Pochettino, yeah, but I think he got found out badly. Like, I was very disappointed in him. If I had to rate him, I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5 or 4. I think he was poor. I think the way he set up the team was. You can't play counter-attack for the whole both legs. You know what I mean? So, for me, do I think he'll get sacked? I don't think he'll get sacked. Maybe they'll give him maybe half a season maybe left. But for me, based on this tie, he still has a lot of experience left to learn as a coach. Don't forget, I don't even think he's 50 yet, so he's still considered a young coach. You know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully he comes back next season and he does something with PSG, and they also have to win League because if they don't win their league, it's gonna look very bad on them. You know what I mean? there's a reason why he came there, but also like it's not 100% his fault because the team, PSG's team, is not even that good. If you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't rate Herrera. Like, I don't think Herrera is that good of a player. Like, you have like Neymar and Mbappe, and like you got players like that. Like, it doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? They need to surround Neymar with good players.
I understand what you're trying to say. I get your point. And so what I was trying to further add to it is that I am not going to rate him right now, but if it was an average performance overall, I agree with you guys. The main concern for me is that he's not going to get sacked, but I can see that there can be a possible debate between Pochettino and Arteta, even though I know the
Nah,
fan
there's no
base will.
like, come on, just stop it.
No, I need to
There's
know.
no
I need to know from Arsenal fans who would say that we would take Pochettino at Arsenal. I need to know the style of play that they understand and what kind of tactics they understand under him. So there will be a debate on it. I'm not talking about who's the better manager or who has more experience, but I want to know why would you take Pochettino at Arsenal. So that would be some kind of a debate that we can have possibly in the upcoming days. And as Ryan also said that he doesn't win titles, so that is another concern, not just for us, for PSG as well. Let's see. And Anuj was saying that Gundogan and Fernandinho were playing as sorry DCM. I think Fernandinho was the main DCM. Gundogan was like kind of moving forward and backwards. And Ryan has just asked, would you take Pochettino as an Arsenal manager? We'll have the debate on that. But for now, I'll say I wanted him as an Arsenal manager at some point of time. But the concern is that he could be at the club for another 2 or 3 years. And if he doesn't win a title, then it will be the same story again. Wenger out, Pochettino out, whatever out. So that is the only concern that as an Arsenal fan I would have. And then that comes back to the question again, whether you want good football with no trophies or whether you don't care about the style of football and just want titles. So we'll get back into that debate again, and that will obviously be something that we'll need to do. Big up to Miss Melina as well. She's giving a shout out to all of you guys. And before I wrap up, I'll start with Ryan. Where can people find you, and give a shout out to your channel as well so that you win that subscriber battle? Go ahead.
Well, you can find me at on YouTube on that Cardiff C fan. I'm in a subscriber battle first to 100 versus OXF Sam. I'm leading by 11 subscribers, and I'm on 68 subscribers. I'm 2 away from 70. And yeah, if you subscribe to me, then I will give you a shout out as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and he will give the cutest shout outs to you guys and make him win that subscriber battle and make the kid famous.
And I will sub back to you.
And he'll sub back to you as well. And I was saying make this kid famous because he can talk and he's just 10. So he's the Phil Foden.
I went to a Cardiff game once. Someone said I should be on Sky or something like that.
You'll get there. You'll probably get there someday. Don't worry about it. First get to your 100 subscribers, then get to 1,000. Then Sky is on the way. Just don't worry about it. It will someday possibly. I said it maybe the second time that we had a stream together that you'll be a commentator someday. So don't worry about it. We'll already know the famous commentator in the making. Don't worry about it. So, Bhargav, any streams that you would want to mention, and where can people find you?
Yeah, I don't actually stream as much anymore, but like, I mean, just for this month while I like recover from things. But there will be an article written on the Man City game, and you can check that out at Beyond the Post later today.
And
like a review of like a match report of like the Man City game.
That's like me trying to self-promote through another person. But the funny thing is, I just wanted you to give a shout out to your Twitter as well. Oh, Relentless just dropped out.
Yeah, my Twitter is no, I don't really do social media like that, man. But like,
okay, Discord, anything?
I'll set one up eventually.
Okay, sure. So Bhargav, you can find on. He'll be writing content for us and on the website as well. Big up to Jordan. Big up to Charlie as well. All you guys. And Relentless just dropped out. Can you, Bhargav? Can you give a shout out to Relentless channel because he
Yeah,
just dropped
Relentless
out?
channel is Relentless Sports Hub. I think he's eventually gonna do. I think me, Melina, and like Relentless are eventually gonna do an NBA podcast at one point. With the NBA playoffs coming up, so definitely look out for that. He does talk football. I think he can put the link. Nitesh, you'll put the link in.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah.
I would just be able to say 3-pointer and 2-pointer for NBA because that's all I could understand in that in one of the NBA games. Okay, I think
Beautiful
he's
sport,
here.
man.
No,
Beautiful
it's-
sport.
Yep. And Jordan is here in the chat in the backstage. But Jordan, we are just about to wrap up. What did you want to add, Jordan?
Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead,
sorry.
Jordan.
We
How are
never
you?
know. Fine. I never know that you were going to wrap up. I never know. So
No worries. So, who do you think will win tomorrow? Just a quick question to you before we wrap up.
for the Real Madrid Chelsea game,
Yeah, who do you think will win?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Okay, and you are a Liverpool fan, so you in the
Yeah.
final, if it goes between Real Madrid and Man City, Real Madrid, the Sergio Ramos tackle on Mo Salah and all that hate, and Man City being Man City, which team would you be supporting in the final?
Real Madrid, not City. I'm not really a
Mhm.
City supporter. I prefer Real Madrid to win it back again.
Okay, so Jordan, if you're new to the channel, just subscribe. I'll have you on for some of the other shows. Unfortunately, we are just about to wrap up, so thank you for coming on, and I will see you soon.
They can they
Go
can
ahead.
sub to me as well. You can sub
Sure,
to me
I'll
as
sub
well.
back to your channel as well. Definitely. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Alright then.
We'll all sub to you. Thank you. And yeah, Talk Manu, last but not the least, where can people find you and any streams that you would like to give a shout out before we wrap it up?
Yeah, you find me on S Speak with TV, Dugout Daily, and I'm on Twitter at iTalkMU.
Okay, thank you so much for that as well. And everyone, Charlie, Jordan, just put the link of your channels quickly in the comments as well, in the live chat and in the comments at the end of the video, so that even Bhargav, you can put the Relentless channel at in the comment section, so that if anyone wants to or watches the video later on, even Ryan, all of you, Talk Manu, even Steven's channel,
Yeah,
that
so I was gonna. I guess
Yep.
now that you mentioned it, Steven's channel has a big debate on. Is it the?
Okay.
One sec. Yeah, it has a big debate on the ownership of Arsenal tomorrow. Look out for
Yeah.
that. I don't know if you're going on there, by the way, Nitesh. I don't know.
I think he sent me the link. 12 p.m. UK time it is. Daniel
Yeah.
Eke versus. I think that is something that is going on. And the funny thing is, just when we are about to wrap up the stream, suddenly 6 people are watching live. This always happens. This always happens. That just when you're about to wrap up the stream, it will go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It'll be at 1, 0, 1, 0 binary codes. Then suddenly, when you're about to wrap up, everyone wants to get into the big fight and everyone wants to get into the discussion. So big up to all you guys. Do subscribe to the channel who are new. That is why exactly I said everyone who has come on and everyone who wants the channel promoted, just put it in the comments after we wrap up the video. Whenever people see the video later on, or they will watch the video on playback, they will subscribe to your channels as well. I would thank everyone on the panel for coming on and everyone in the chat that has been so active today. Thank you so much, and hopefully we see you guys soon tomorrow. We'll be doing a review of tomorrow's game as well, and probably the build up to the final. And as Bhargav said, maybe that debate about the Arsenal ownership could go crazy. So just check out SPTLE TV as well. And tomorrow 12 p.m. UK time is the time for that discussion and debate that will go on. So thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Talk Manu. I don't know your name. What is your name exactly? That is the biggest mystery for me. I keep calling you Talk Manu.
Yeah, it's James.
James. Okay, big up James, big up Ryan, and big up Bhargav as well, and Relentless as well. I think I need to know his name as well. Otherwise, I'll keep calling him Relentless till for a few years. See, the trolls are here.
Nate, actually, I think it's like Nate.
The thing is,
Yeah.
we're about to end it. This is almost on 2 hours. Like,
Yeah, I know. I know we can go on for hours, but we should
it's
end it.
unfortunate.
I said this funny thing on one of the streams. We should probably start off the video by saying we'll just be wrapping up the video in the next 5 minutes, and a lot of people will pop up suddenly because every time.
Yeah. And get me on as well. Get me on.
Hey Ryan, just know that you can actually like leave at any time. It's like you're not gonna hurt our feelings, by the way. So I think you're like really afraid of that. So
No, he puts in the comments, I'm really enjoying the stream, but when will it be ending?
yeah, I know. Because I don't think he realized like he could actually like just leave. It's not gonna like hurt us. He's just being respectful.
I like these live streams. They're really fun.
No worries, Ryan. He was just trying to say that if it is past your bedtime, we understand at times.
That's what I'm saying.
Thing is,
Just don't.
I'm off
Yeah,
school.
go ahead.
I'm off school. I'm off school because I'm on what's it called, isolation, because I had not COVID, but I was ill. You know, I had a cold and I've had a few colds. So yeah.
So I'll give you one mean life hack. Every time you don't feel like going to school, just say you have a cold.
Yeah.
Nah. Go to school. Go to school. It's
Go to
important.
school. Nah, don't listen to me on that one. But thank you everyone for joining in, and we better wrap it up before we find another topic and go on for another half an hour or so. So big up to everyone. As I said again, just put your links in the chat after in the comment section after the video is done, and everyone will subscribe. I will subscribe with my couple of IDs if I already haven't. I just subscribe to Charlie's IDs, his channel as well. So big up, be home, be safe, and everyone follow the COVID norms. And if you're in lockdown, don't try to do something like Arsenal would do.
Yeah.
And we have a big game coming up. So come on, you Gunners. Let's win that and go to the Europa League final. Take care, guys.
Come on, Cardiff.
Good night.